Hi, my name is Blanca Gomez. I've been teaching here at Heights for a long time. I remember that 9/11 I was teaching the computer. We were practicing the typing skills. So I remember turning on the TV because they told us to turn it on. And we were like afraid, what was going to happen because we knew that one of the airplanes, we didn't know where it was going to land. So yeah, it was a very scary experience.
Hi, my name is Miss Mendoza. I am the 5th grade reading teacher here at Heights. Where was I on 9/11? I was actually driving to work. It was around 8:30 in the morning, I want to say, and listening to the radio, and all of a sudden the news comes in, important information, and we get advised that there was a plane that crashed into one of the towers, the Twin Towers in New York. Well, nobody thought it was like, oh, it's a mechanical error, what would have happened, what went wrong. And by the time I got to work, everybody was in the lounge and they were watching TV, and it came out that it was an actual terrorist attack. So then time passes, we see the second tower hit, and it just became so surreal to see that we were being attacked this way. It's just an eye-opener of how things can change so quickly.
I am Ms. Bernal. For September 11th, I remember I was a 2nd grade teacher at Kenny Zapata, and remember los puentes, todos los puentes yendo para Mexico, they were all closed. The teacher came in and told us everything was closed. We didn't know what was going on. And back then, we didn't have internet. We didn't have a TV in the room. We didn't know what was going on. It wasn't until we got out from school, I got home and I went into my house and I saw my dad watching TV, and oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible. People jumping from the building. It was just horrible. That was a horrible day.
What do I remember about September the 11th, 2001? For me, it was a very, very sad day. I was coming out of my office. I was principal at Memorial Middle School at that time, and one of my secretaries came out of the attendance office saying, Miss Padilla, a plane crashed into the World Trade Center. And I thought to myself, well, it's probably a small aircraft. That's the only thing that came into my mind. Never would I have thought that it was a big airline carrier that had crashed into the World Trade Center. New York City has been or had been my home for every Thanksgiving since 1985. And when I heard that news, my heart fell to the ground. I felt so bad for all those people that lost their lives, for all the people that were running away from their buildings because they lived close to the World Trade Center. I was in utter shock. My kids at Memorial were in shock also. We didn't know whether it was a hoax or not, but as pictures came out from the television network stations, we saw that it was real, it was terrifying, and we just got together and prayed for all those people that were losing their lives at that time. When I went to New York that November, I took pictures for my yearbook staff, and you can see from my yearbook, this is 2002 because that comes out at the end of the school year, and these are comments that a lot of students made at Memorial as they were looking at the news of what was going on in New York City. And these were the captions that we wrote because we thought they were important. We will not tire. We will not falter. And this is the day that changed the world forever because we also changed. And so, like I said, these are pictures that I personally took when I went to New York City. And that was almost 3 months later. And 3 months later, you could still see smoke coming from the ground. You could still smell the burning leftovers of the buildings, the steel rods that were still there from the buildings. It was such a sad sight, but I thought that I needed to record those pictures for my school, for my children at school at Memorial, so that they could see what I was able to see when I visited New York. I know as I was flying into Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, and when I looked out of the airplane, I was so sad because every year that we would come, we would see the Twin Towers. We knew we were in New York because we would see the Twin Towers shining from above because they were such tall buildings. And when we saw that the only thing that was coming out of that area was smoke, because the smoke was still in the air, it was just an enormous, enormous sad feeling when we were going over there and trying to land there at LaGuardia Airport.
Hello, my name is Adriana Martinez and I'm the instructional specialist here at Heights. During the memorable events of 9/11, I was actually a counselor at Los Obispos, and I had gone to home for lunch. I was attempting to have my meal. Everything kept replaying in the news, and I felt it was so surreal. Even up to this date, it's something that will forever be embedded in all of our hearts. They may be gone, but they'll never be forgotten.